It's an exciting time for us. Summer's gone by pretty fast. Successful summer with summer league and developmental stuff with our guys. We've had the majority of our guys in for most of the month, and that's been a very positive thing as well. So really looking forward to this. This is, a new era. I think an official new era of Pacers basketball, and it's certainly a direction of youth. It's a direction of going all in on a group of guys that are young, talented, of extremely high character and tremendous upside. And so it's an exciting time, and we're looking forward to getting going.
Rick, you came here to coach an established team that looked like it was ready to get over the hump. Now it's a rebuild, for lack of a better term. How does that make you feel at this point in your career?
Every job that I've taken has ended up being a little different than I expected. When I went to Detroit, my first press conference when I got the job, they asked me if I thought there's any possibility we could be a 500 team, and I said, look, why put a number like 500 on something when we don't know exactly what we have here, and we're taking a different approach, and we're going to spend a lot of time working on defense, et cetera. And then we ended up winning 50 games. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here. The Dallas situation, that was pretty much what was expected. That was, a veteran team, and the mandate was we've got a limited number of years to win a championship with Dirk. We got to find a way to get it done. And so that was how that went. And then the ensuing years were all different. There was a lot of change. There was a lot of roster upheaval. It was a great exercise in coaching sort of resourcefulness because we were always having to adjust to our personnel. Coming back here, it looked like it was going to be one thing, but the fact that it's taken this kind of a turn is very exciting to me. I'm not worried about things like my personal record. That's not what this is about. Every job you've got to come into it, and you've got to find a way to make it better. And my relationship with the Pacers goes back almost 25 years, to 1997 when I came in with Larry. That was another situation where people thought that team was probably pretty much done, and they went on a 3-year run of conference finals and the finals. So what we're doing here is we are resetting the culture, the spirit, and the attitude, and our players are going to have a tremendous amount to do with that. Tyrese Halliburton has been amazing since he was traded here. He's taken a lead role in the community. After the season, he was back in the gym within 2 weeks after the season. We had optional developmental workouts for our young guys. He was here for every second of all of those. He's kept the gym lively. He's recruiting guys over to an attitude of, hey, we got a chance to be involved with something really special here, and that's what we're going to do. And so, my job as the main facilitator is to see to that. I've got an amazing staff. I've got as talented a coaching staff as I've ever had in this league. In the 21 years that I've been a head coach, so I'm really excited about that. Lloyd Pierce, Ron Norred, Mike Weiner, Jenny Busick, Pargo, Calbert Cheney. These guys are all superstars, and they're all major talent. And I've got to empower them to help empower our players to become better and better and better. So, I'm not big on predictions or timelines or putting numbers of, wins on goals and things like that. Our thing is we're going to come in here every day with the right attitude, and we're going to make every day positive. We're going to have some really great wins this year. I'm very confident of that, and we're going to have some periods where we have some struggles. And when we do those, and when we have those periods, we're going to have a strategy for adversity, and we're going to keep moving this thing forward in the right direction. It's not going to be about how quickly we can get there. It's going to be about constantly moving this thing in the right direction.
Rick, what has been your approach the last few months with Miles, and how is he doing both physically and mentally as you enter a new season here?
Well, I've been talking to Miles, ever since July, ever since the stuff where, we put the offer sheet on Ayton, got to spend some time, a couple of days with him with his basketball camp in Dallas in late July. Spent some time with him in August in the gym. Lloyd came down for a couple of days. The following week, we spent a couple more days in the gym, had dinner at my house in Dallas. And Miles is a pro. And Miles has made it clear to me that he's excited about being here. He's excited about playing with a pass-first starting point guard like Tyrese. And that's where we are right now. That's where we are. I know that there are, he's in the last year of his contract. That's something that's on everybody's mind. But, hey, this is day one of media day. We're here. We're excited about basketball. And, he'll be here in the gym tomorrow going hard. And I don't know. I think is he the longest tenured guy here? And he's been a guy that's been very loyal to this organization. He sincerely cares about this organization, and I think he covets the opportunity not only to be the guy that is the starting center, that is the clear guy at that position, but also to take a leadership role in the development of this team going forward. So my feeling is that he's very excited to be here and to get going, and and we're looking forward to having him back, because our defense the second half of the year suffered tremendously without him and without T.J. McConnell. And so, as we head into this, defense will be a very big part of what we're doing. I mean, my plan is to spend, a 2-to-1 ratio of defense-offense the first several days of training camp, and probably through most of it.
Rick, how fun is it for you with this young core now to kind of teach the fundamentals, go through all those smaller things with a team that now seems very open and wants to learn everything possible? Is it reinvigorating at all to you in that sense?
Yeah. Hey, look, young talent in a gym is always invigorating. The day Luka Doncic walked in the door in Dallas, I mean, that was that was a day I'll never forget. And it was clear that he was going to be something really, really special. I've got, the same kind of feelings about our young guys, about Tyrese. Ben Mathurin has got a big future ahead of him. Duarte's made huge strides. Isaiah Jackson has gotten stronger. He's increased his stamina. Skill development has really been on point. And these guys are super young. Now, Chris was an older rookie, but Isaiah was 19 when we drafted him, and he's come light years. And so that stuff is really exciting. Jalen Smith, I mean, what a coup for the franchise to be able to get him back on the contract that we did and have a chance to develop him for 2 more years, And right now he is our starting 4-man. And then beyond that, be able to do whatever we need to do to retain him. And that was not going to be the case had we not been able to sign him to the contract that we were. And the fact that he's here is a feather in the cap to this organization, to this fan base, to the people that work here that made him feel so welcome, so special every day he walked in the building. And he had other options, and there was more money out there, but he knows that we have the best developmental situation for him, and he's looking long, and we're looking long, but we're going to have a sharp focus on everything we're doing every single day, and we're going to make sure we get the details right.
What ways have you seen Jalen develop since the time he came here?
Well, he's just a very underrated young player. I think there's something about his reserved demeanor, and he's kind of quiet and laid back, and maybe it's the glasses. I don't know. I don't want to presume anything, but I view him as a guy that has an upside to be a consistent starter in this league, and to be a multi-position player. He shoots the ball extremely well. He picks up teaching of footwork. He can block shots. He's a rim protector. He can shoot threes. He drives the ball a little better than you think. And so, he's a guy that's, I'm excited about him as anybody here.
You called this a new era, a rebuild for this team. What would you as the coach define as a successful season for this team this year?
What a great question, and I've talked to the staff about metrics that would be useful to measure progress, measure performance, those kinds of things. But I would say in general that a lot of this is going to be the eye test. And over the course of the season, the people that follow this team and that study this team, they see that, from week to week and month to month, that there are positive steps forward, and that's going to be the thing. And one of the ways that you reset a culture and a spirit and an attitude is to make the gym as competitive as possible every single day. Last year, trying to mess around with rotations and we had Miles and Domas who were going to start together, but then they're going to flip-flop back and forth. At the 5 position, there was no room for Isaiah. There was no room for Goga. This year, I anticipate consistently a 10-man rotation at minimum. I think our depth, our energy, our spirit, all that kind of stuff is something that's going to have to drive this season. But I don't see a scenario where anybody on this roster, gets strung out with crazy minutes, including Tyrese. It'd be easy to play him 40 minutes a game, and toward the end of the year when we had guys banged up, he was playing a bunch of minutes, Buddy was playing too many minutes, all that kind of stuff. We're going to take a different approach, and we're going to use our depth as an advantage. We're going to use it as something to drive our development internally every day. And, I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be fun.
We have time for a couple more, guys. Ladies and gentlemen.
With so many young guards on your team, what kind of role do you envision with T.J. McConnell, and how important is he to helping you set that culture you want?
Well, we have some great veterans on this team. Miles Turner is the best on the planet at what he does defensively, blocking shots. And he's a guy that cares about this team, cares about this franchise, always plays hard. T.J. McConnell has had an amazing career, really, in establishing who he is in this league at this point. And look, we were without him for 4 months last year. That really set us back last year. But Miles and TJ and Buddy Hield, who is one of the very best at what he does, shooting the ball. And Buddy showed us the second half of the season that he is a very capable defender and very capable of being a good defender within a defensive system. And so, those 3 veterans and the guy that I haven't talked about yet is Daniel Tice, who we're getting, who's a guy that's got experience playing in the finals. And, they had a very successful run with Germany in Eurobasket, and he's a hell of a veteran player. The other 2 guys that I'm excited to have in camp are James Johnson, who I had in Dallas for a year, who's one of the toughest guys in the league, who's a great connector in the locker room, and who has a charismatic element as a teammate. And then Langston Galloway is here Langston's participated in multiple windows of USA Basketball. And USA Basketball, led by Jim Boylan, who's still living locally here, has put themselves in a position. I think they're 1 or 2 wins away from qualifying for the Olympics, and they're doing this. They're doing this with a lot of minor league players. They're doing it with a lot of NBA veterans like Langston, who are have kind of been year to year. But the point is that Langston Galloway, what he's done with USA Basketball is what we want to preach here for our players, which is a high level of work ethic, love of the game, resourcefulness, and just being ready all the time. And so we feel that James and Langston can really add to our training camp situation. And so that's where we are. But if you're worried about T.J. McConnell getting playing time, I wouldn't worry about that. I think he's going to get plenty of playing time.
Rick, are there any health concerns entering tomorrow?
Davidas Servidis has an ankle issue that happened a week or so ago in one of the pickup games. He will not be a go tomorrow in camp on the floor, full go. But he is a fast healer, and he's doing really well. And I expect he'll be on the floor sooner than later. Everybody else, to my knowledge, is doing fine. Jalen Smith had a mild ankle thing that happened a week ago Friday, and he's doing very well. And I think he's doing another workout today, but he's expected to be a full go tomorrow, as is I think everyone else. Mike, is that right?
Yes, as far as
To your knowledge?
To my knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyone else?
With Ben Mathurin, obviously one of the highest picks for the organization in 30-plus years, what have you seen throughout the summer that has you enthused about the growth you've already seen in the last few months with him?
I think he's a terrific competitor who really wants to be great. I just really get that sense. He wants to be pushed. There have been multiple times he's come to me and said, "Hey, Coach, you can say anything to me. I just want to get better. I want to get better. I want to get better." He takes coaching very well. He's in the process of really developing a feel for the game, and he's made so many strides this summer, and then from Labor Day through to now, you see kind of the evolution, and he just continues to get better and better. But he's a guy that just inherently has a great competitive fire. And he's another guy that's going to make the gym really competitive every single day.